So I'm going to talk about the AIchemy research funding. As has already been mentioned before, we've got a series of forerunner projects that are pre-allocated to the hub, and that takes up 30% of our allocated research funding. So that does leave us with 70% of our research funding that is ring-fenced for a flexible fund. The principles of our flexible fund is to allow 20% of that fund for researchers who are new to AI for chemistry. So that's bringing new people into the field. 60% of that will be for developing state of the art. So everything, a lot around AI for chemistry is very new, but we'll be looking at very much state of the art things to bring the field forward. 20% of that will be ring fenced for ECR-led projects. So we're very keen to ensure that our junior researchers are able to get funding through this. So we'll be funding the most innovative research in an inclusive and transparent fashion, and we're going to be encouraging industry collaborations alongside this. Obviously, our funding is EPSRC funding, so usual rules apply there. We can only actually fund UK HEI researchers. We can't fund the industry collaborations, but we are very keen for those people to get involved. We've got 4 different types of funding. So the flexible fund covers our larger grants. So over 50k will give you sort of a postdoctoral time available within that. Pump priming, so smaller grants up to 20k. And we're going to be opening at the call for that next month, and I'll talk through that on the next slide. But before then, so secondments and travel fund, this is for early career researchers and postdocs. This will allow people to take secondments either into industry or into other research groups, or a travel fund to attend an international conference and perhaps go and spend a little bit of time with a collaborator in another country. So we'll be opening that in the new year. We also have a software engineer that we've hired already at Imperial, Lucas Takani. There will be a software engineer recruited at Liverpool as well, and potentially a data scientist as well. These will have part of their time biddable to the community. So we won't be, not all of their time will be taken on projects related to the forerunners. And we'll be working out how we offer that biddable time out soon, so that we'll bring that forward for next year. So if you've got a little project that you think, I just need a software engineer to be able to help me do X, then that's the kind of thing we're looking for. Maybe a couple of weeks time, sort of a couple of weeks to a month, that sort of time frame. So our pump priming call, bit of an outline for you here. We're planning to open this next month, so October, as I said before. These are short projects to test out new ideas at the chemistry AI interface. Funding for up to £20,000 per project. We've got a total budget of 100,000 for this first call, so we're expecting to fund around 5 to 8 projects. Project duration of up to 6 months. As I said previously, funding open to UK-based HEI researchers. Industrial collaboration are allowed, but the industrial partners can't be funded. Applications for this can be from individual researchers or teams of researchers. We're open to both there. We're very much encouraging ECRs to apply, and for our pump priming calls, that includes those at a postdoctoral PDRA level with PI support. So we're trying to be very inclusive of the younger generation of researchers coming through and give them opportunities to apply for funding. It'll be a short application, so it'll cover aims, background information, proposed activity, and then the budget breakdown. What will we fund and what we won't fund? Again, we're very much led by EPSRC and what they will fund and what they won't. So our eligible costs, we're looking at PDRA staff costs for up to 3 months, consumables, access to national and other open access facilities, software licenses, costs associated with research data management and sharing, impact acceleration and knowledge exchange activity, small equipment up to 10,000, including VAT, and travel and subsistence relating to the proposed project. What we is not going to be eligible, contributions to the salary of project leads or co-leads, equipment costing more than 10k, Fees or stipends associated with master's or PhD students, open access costs, again, all of these things, regular EPSRC type non-eligible costs. We won't accept any bids solely requesting equipment, even if that's less than £10,000. This isn't just about giving people money to buy a piece of equipment. And we won't accept bids solely requesting travel and subsistence because we have the other call for that. So that will be coming out next year. So our review process, we'll be looking at proposals being assessed on the following criteria. So quality and fit of the proposed research, potential for impact, interdisciplinarity, and the ability to deliver. And the review process will follow. So there'll be submission, there'll be an eligibility check by the project management team to make sure everything fits the criteria. We're proposing to do a distributed peer review, and I'll come on to that in the next slide about what I mean by that. And that will give us review scoring. And then there'll be a panel meeting and final decisions made after that. And that whole process will be anonymous. What do we mean by distributed peer review? So distributed peer review is where the applications on proposals also make up the reviewing pool for that initial scoring part. In our case, we'll also include a separate review panel whose members have not applied to the call to moderate and make any final funding decisions. So why are we proposing to pilot this? So AI for chemistry is a relatively niche area. There's limited numbers of people who we could really call on as kind of expert reviewers in this sense. And we don't want to preclude anybody from applying to the call by asking them upfront to be a reviewer. But we then don't want to end up in a situation where everybody is allowed to submit, and then we don't know who to have as our reviewers. So this is an opportunity to use a different mechanism. It also means that if the use of applicants of reviewers means that each application gets reviewed multiple times and should improve quality assurance. And it also helps with our commitment to EDI and the support of ECR careers, because this would allow us to have a wider diversity of reviewers and allow those junior researchers an opportunity they might not already have. So we've already talked this through with EPSRC. This is an approved approach as long as it has a robust and fair process. And we've also been talking to the Volkswagen Foundation, who are currently piloting this, and Rory, the Research on Research Institute, who are evaluating their pilot. So we're going to be using their experiences to ensure that we can design a robust and fair process. And as it says on the slide there, it's also used by the European Southern Observatory. They use this method to allocate their telescope time, and the Dutch Research Council, NWO, who use it for their small innovation grants.